and welcome to our top of the class event. I'm High School Principal Mark Smithberger. It's such a fun evening for us, myself, Mr. Budeshwar, as the high school principals here to get to recognize our top students. The students invited tonight are in the top 20 of their class based on GPA through 7 semesters. To get that distinction, that means you've done a lot of things for 3.5 years really, really well. Everyone in this room has a GPA above 4.0. Well, actually, not true. I never had that at all, so not everyone here. All the students here have a GPA above 4.0, well above 4.0. And it speaks to, honestly, your hard work, your persistence, and quite frankly, a lot of natural ability. It also speaks to a support system around you. Every one of you tonight are here because you had parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and community that care about you. The other part about tonight is we're here to recognize the teachers that have supported you. So we asked you a few months ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, to recognize you as an influential educator. And that we did that intentionally because we think tonight's a really fun event and really an intimate event. There's about 80 of us here tonight. We get a chance to honor the relationship between a teacher and a student and the power that it has. The power that it has to inspire, to shape, to challenge. And honestly, that goes both ways. Because you make us better as educators. You come to school every day ready to learn, you've worked so hard at what you do. So you allow us to really push ourselves as educators, and hopefully we do the same to you. So the format of tonight is, I'm not going to spend much time talking to Mr. Budeshwar, give me 2 minutes, because the real action are you guys, our teachers and our students. So the format tonight is, Mr. Budeshwar is being kind of MC. Usually it's Mr. Seuss, but Mr. Seuss is out today. Last couple days he had carpal tunnel surgery, so he'll be back hopefully tomorrow. So Mr. Budeshwar got the call. So he is here representing Mr. Seuss. He is not the senior class principal. He is the sophomore class principal. He's filling in. Mr. Seuss his regards and disappointment about not being able to be here because he really is excited about this night. And you guys are his senior class, so he's bummed about not being here. So Mr. Budeshwar will read the student's name, the college you're going to attend, and the coach in your honor. We're asking the student and the teacher to come up here. Your speeches are peer students, and you can give your speech about the teacher you selected as your most influential educator. Students get a plaque, teachers get an apple. Once you get those from me, you'll go over here to the white Titan screen. Mr. Kavanaugh will take a photo, which the student and the teacher will get here in the near future. So I know you guys are really smart, so please do a great job, and the most important person is the first person to death. So if the first person gets it right, we're in great shape all night. If the first person messes it up, Mr. Budeshwar will fix that, and we'll try again. So without further ado, actually, I have one more ado. Because one of our staff members is running a little late tonight, we're going to skip out of the program, and we also have a student who's not here yet because of a baseball game. So if we would typically go alphabetical, but we'll bounce around a little bit because we want to make sure our students and our teachers are here. So please bear with us if you're like, hey, you missed me. That's probably intentional. Because the person you want to recognize is not here, or the student is not here yet because of another engagement. So don't be shocked or feel like that, hey, something weird happened. That's what's happening. So I don't want people to get panicky and feel like that they didn't get a chance to be here, because we really do appreciate it tonight. So hopefully everyone enjoys the evening. Mr. Budeshwar, you are up.
All right, so welcome everyone. Congratulations to you all for being here, and congratulations to our wonderful teachers that are being honored tonight. Our first speaker is going to be Brett Becker. Brett will be attending Ohio Wesleyan University, majoring in engineering, and he would like to honor Sue Shen.
In 8th grade, Chinese was the second to last language I was going to pick to learn. I had originally wanted to learn French or Spanish, but neither lined up with my schedule. So then I decided to take a chance with Mandarin Chinese. Everybody says that Mandarin is one of the hardest languages to learn, but Mrs. Xu, or as I have become accustomed to addressing her, Xu Shi, made learning the language one of the best experiences of my life. Xu Shi makes her class so incredibly special because she works so hard for her students. She constantly creates new lessons and new ways to learn that are fun and engaging. She works so hard that all you want to do is match that hard work to make her proud. I don't like participating in classes that much, but something about the dynamic in Xu Shi's classroom made me raise my hand and get involved time and time again. Her hard work made learning Chinese incredibly fun. Xu Shi also has a great personality. She's kind, but she isn't afraid to express her emotions. She lets you know when you let her down, but she goes above and beyond to praise you for your accomplishments. She cares about your life outside of the classroom. I remember she would continually ask me how baseball or track is going. Unfortunately, she had to leave our school district after my sophomore year. My classmates and I thought that meant we would not hear from her again. We were very wrong. She would email us and check in on how we were doing, and she even organized to meet with my class and I multiple times since she has left. Xu Shi is the perfect example of what a teacher should be, and I'm so incredibly glad I got stuck with my third choice of language back in 8th grade. Well, I need Xu Shi.
Our next student is Kendall Rodman. Kendall will be attending the University of Chicago with a major in political science, and Kendall would like to honor her father, Kevin Rodman. I should say teacher and father and coach.
So I want to start by saying that obviously when I found out we were going to be recognizing the most influential educator we've had within Berea City Schools, none of my former or current teachers really stood a fighting chance. But I chose my dad not just because he's my dad, but because he's had a profound influence on my education inside and outside of the classroom. His openness to my often radical views, along with his willingness to engage in conversations with me about those ideas, have given me the tools to engage in discourse with my peers. This was only expanded in this AP government class, which I took during my junior year. Not only did this course greatly expand my knowledge of American government and politics, but it also gave me the opportunity to express my feelings about hot-button issues in an academic setting. My dad offered a unique approach to teaching in which he encouraged discussion and seemed genuinely interested in what both other students and I had to say. He fosters an environment in his classroom in which students feel their opinions are valued and are able to engage in the material in a different way. So, like I said, my dad definitely had an advantage over other teachers that I've had in this district, as he has educated me outside of school hours as well. He is a model of hard work and self-confidence and has instilled these qualities in me. These are skills that have bettered my performance in the classroom, on the basketball court, and in everyday life. He has also been my #1 supporter as I've navigated my adolescence and all of the adversity I've encountered throughout high school. Thank you, Dad, for your unrelenting confidence in me to succeed and for your guidance as I have grown up. I could not have asked for a better role model. Love you.
Next, we have Aaron DeFrancesco. Aaron will be attending Ohio University with a major in music therapy. Aaron would like to honor Mr. Brett Benson.
Towards the end of last year, Symphonic Winds helped pick the person who would replace Mr. Barth as the assistant band director and eventually Mr. Fidali as the head band director. There were 3 different directors coming in on 3 different days to have our band sight read a piece so that Mr. Fidali, as well as the administrative staff, could see the way they each taught. We could all tell from the moment Mr. Benson started working with us that he was going to be the new band director. I remember looking over to the 3 people to my left, and we all collectively looked at each other with excited grins on our faces, as if to tell each other that he was going to be the one. Mr. Benson has been one of my band directors this year, both in school and out of school. In school, he was the director for both concert band and symphonic band, and outside of school, he was the director for the symphonic band in NOYO, or Northern Ohio Youth Orchestra. Although Mr. Benson has only been working in this district for 1 year, he has made a big impact on my life. Mr. Benson has supported me since before he was my teacher. He went to go see Mary Poppins last year before he was even officially a teacher here. He also went to my flute ensemble performance this past summer. Granted, he did have a former student in the flute ensemble that he was coming for, but he still made sure to talk to all 3 of his future band students who were in the flute ensemble. He has continued to support me along with the other band students by making an effort to try and show up to as many of our performances as possible. Mr. Benson genuinely cares about his students and wants them to succeed. When I was preparing for my college auditions, Mr. Benson offered to help me record the one video audition I had. Around the time of district contests, Mr. Benson was willing to do whatever it took to get symphonic band to have energy while we played our music. When we got into at contests instead of the one we were aiming for, Mr. Benson reassured us that we played our pieces the best we could at that moment in time, while also pushing us to work harder and play with 100% effort 100% of the time. Mr. Benson preaches acceptance, being kind, and loving to others, and being positive. These are things that I strive to practice in life. Mr. Benson is an inspiration to me, and although he has only been my teacher for 1 year, he has made an impact on my life that I will never forget.
Next, we have Dimitri Airmakov. Dimitri will be attending Hillsdale College, majoring in applied mathematics. Dimitri would like to honor Ms. Jill Webb.
Apologies if I sound a bit bad. I'm a little sick. Hello. Today I want to talk about an event that dramatically shaped my work ethic and personal growth. It was back in 8th grade when I had this sweat. It's not very grandiose, and it was just a physical science course, but it was taught by her. So, pretty good. So before taking Mrs. Webb's class, I always made an effort to neglect my studies. I usually tried to put in the least amount of effort as I possibly could, and never applied myself. I tried to coast through all the studies. Just get out real quick. I would aim to find the quickest and laziest approaches, every assignment, just barely getting an A. It was a horrible mentality, and I also did that out of school. But then everything changed when I yippee. Sorry. In Mrs. West's class when I took it. So the big first moment was in the first quarter project we had. It was a standard project where you did a 22 by 28 inch poster about any science topic. I did the metric system. Very easy. So I decided to complete it on the weekend on a whim though. And this took me completely by surprise. She actually recognized me and praised me for trying to get it done as soon as possible. And I put a decent amount of work in it. Now, this was never something I received before, not to throw shade on the other teachers before. From that moment on, she kept challenging me to work harder, which encouraged me to work hard in my behavior. She emboldened me to work beyond the required curriculum and complete every assignment as soon as possible and thoroughly understand the information. This was something unexpected. Mrs. West was the event that drove me to work like a Trojan and view myself as industrious. Once I began high school, I utilized these habits and diligence Mrs. West nurtured to excel in my studies, even during the COVID-19 pandemic. Although Mrs. West's class was not solely responsible since 8th grade, it was an event that sparked my dedication to work hard and a new understanding of ourselves. As someone who does not take the easy way out, her course was instrumental in my growth as a person, both academically and mentally. I'm grateful for the small acts of praise that Mrs. West bestowed upon me, which truly reached me. It goes to show how sometimes the little things can have a profound effect. Thank you.
Our next student is Ferris Asherim. Ferris will be attending Cleveland State University with a major in computer science, and Ferris would like to honor Mr. Scott Bison.
I nominated Mr. Pison as my most impactful teacher for a multitude of reasons. Mr. Pison is known to be a great AP Calculus teacher, but to me, he's much more than that. He has many qualities that make him an amazing teacher and a person as well. He strives to make a more personal connection with the class rather than just teaching, which makes him stand out. Not only this, but he has a lot of work ethic, and he is always trying to improve his class. Mr. Pison has greatly impacted me because I feel like he has set me up to be successful for the rest of my high school career. I took Mr. Pison's class as a freshman, or he would say when I was a wee boy. I believe that this class helped set up my success in high school. Taking the AP class as a freshman was really intimidating, especially considering that I was the youngest kid in the class, yet somehow I always felt prepared. His teaching style allowed me to easily succeed in both the class and the AP exam, but I learned more than just calculus. I had a better work ethic, which helped me form good habits such as studying efficiently and not procrastinating. Taking a difficult class in my first year of high school made most other classes feel really easy. I feel that my academic success stemmed with this motivation for Mr. Pison to become a better student. It is obvious that Mr. Pison puts a lot of effort into improving his class, which shows his passion for teaching, and he achieves his goal of creating success for most of his students. He always asks students for feedback on assignments and tests, making sure everything was challenging yet still fair. When I was his student, he'd always change and edit his tests for several days to make sure that they are what he wants them to be. He's rarely absent, and when he is, he makes sure that his class has something to work on. It's clear that he puts an incredible amount of effort into making his class one of the best in the school.
Next up, we have Isabella Baglier. Isabella will be attending the University of Michigan with a major in aerospace engineering. Isabella would like to honor Mr. Scott Pison.
Tonight, I would like to recognize Mr. Pison for the impact he's made on my life and his willingness to help me succeed. I've known Mr. Pison since my freshman year, just like Ferris, when I took his AP Calculus class. As a freshman in a class full of juniors and seniors, I was terrified, but Mr. Pison guided me to success despite this. Because I had him as a teacher so early in my high school career, I learned several lessons in responsibility, maturity, and perseverance sooner than most. I also gained the opportunity to come out of my shell socially, which I am extremely grateful for. I've known many of you here for over 4 years, so you may remember me as a freshman. Wasn't very outgoing. While there was nothing wrong with who I was then, I'm definitely a much different person now. I think I can attribute that partly to Mr. Pison's class and the way he involved me even at times when I was hesitant to participate. I still remember my first day of class when I regrettably chose a seat at the front and center of the room. I also remember my last day as I took the AP test at home on my laptop, and I remember almost every day in between because of how engaging he was. There surprisingly really was never a dull day in AP Calculus. For example, earlier I called my seat choice regrettable because when my birthday rolled around in February, Mr. Pison was quick to flip my desk around to face my 20 classmates as they sang me happy birthday. And when I claimed that my friend had cheated off my notebook while we were doing a practice problem, since I was so close to his desk, Mr. Pison called me out to the whole class without hesitation, saying that this is the first time he had heard someone claim to cheat on notes. Although I was slightly embarrassed at these times, I will never forget these moments or the way that they contributed to my confidence. Unfortunately, our year together was cut short due to COVID, but Mr. Pison continued to inspire my class. He managed to teach as if we were sitting in a classroom even while we were stuck at home, and he prepared me to take my first AP test during a global pandemic. He reminded us every day of our class motto that this cannot be broken, and was a source of positivity during a dark time. Although I haven't been in this class for 3 years, I have continued to work with Mr. Pison in National Honor Society, and have continued to live by the lessons he taught me. He has always taken an interest in my success, as I know he does for all of his other students as well. Not only did he teach me calculus, but more importantly, he showed me how to be compassionate, carry myself with honor, and hold myself and others accountable even through trying times. Thank you.
Next, we have Nicholas Kusinski. Nicholas will be attending The Ohio State University and majoring in mechanical engineering. Nicholas would like to honor Dr. Ryan McAlay.
Many students get the chance to work with an impactful teacher for a year or even two if they are lucky. As an 8th grader, I was given the opportunity to sign up for engineering, which I did because it sounded intriguing. Little did I know that a yes or no question would change the course of my entire life. I'm thankful to be taught all 4 years of high school by an impactful teacher who was also an engineer. From the age of 14 to 17, not only did Dr. McAfee teach me how to think like an engineer, but he also taught me how to conduct myself like one. I attribute my professionalism, determination, and most importantly, communication skills to Dr. Mack, someone who led by example and served as a role model in the teenage years of my life. Dr. Mack exemplifies dynamic teaching as he turns traditional lessons into class discussions. This has allowed me to feel more than comfortable asking questions and being okay with not understanding new concepts quickly. He taught me how to listen effectively by modeling how he engages with others through his attentive and insightful questions. He devotes lots of his time to helping my classmates and I seek out and follow through with internships and made my dream career feel so achievable by doing everything he can to create a class full of successful people. Even though I'll be off to college getting taught by someone else how to become an engineer other than Dr. Mack, I will always have him as a lifelong mentor and friend. Thank you.
Next, we have Hannah Loznick. Hannah will be attending Ohio University and majoring in nursing. Hannah would like to honor Miss Carrie Rice.
Today, I want to take the opportunity to recognize and thank my pre-calculus teacher for my junior year, Mrs. Rice. Math has always been my favorite subject, so I half expected to glide through the year without any major impressions. This was not the case with Mrs. Rice. The second I met her, I knew she was someone who deserved my respect. Her energy radiated throughout the room and put everyone at ease. She immediately put emphasis on her life motto, which was to always be kind. I didn't think too much about it until I saw how different she was from any other teacher I've ever had. She would drop anything to make sure I understood a concept, was prepared for a test, or even make sure I had a good weekend. Mrs. Rice never failed to make me feel like I was cared about and that I belonged. Even a year later, she always greets me when we run into each other in the hallways with the biggest smile. One day we had a lockdown drill, which can be a very touchy subject. She immediately told us that she would do anything to make sure we were all safe with tears in her eyes. She cares so deeply about every single student that walks through her door, and I cannot be more appreciative of that. I aspire to be like Mrs. Rice, compassionate, kind, and always positive. No one expects to have a teacher that would truly impact their life, so I will always be grateful for Mrs. Rice.
Next, we have Niccolo Rebjenovic. Niccolo will be attending The Ohio State University, majoring in chemical engineering. Niccolo would like to honor Mr. Scott Bison.
Good evening, everyone. I hope that you are all well. First and foremost, I would just like to congratulate all my classmates on the past 4 years. It has truly been a pleasure to not share only the past 4 years with you, but for some of you, the past 12 or so years. I have no doubt in my mind that whatever you guys pursue, you'll be successful. Without further ado, I'd like to recognize Mr. Scott Pyson as my honorary choice for most impactful teacher. In fairness to most of you, you have never had the opportunity to meet Mr. Pyson, let alone spent every single day from 8:10 to 9:01 learning calculus. Although you guys probably have a rough idea of who he is with these speeches. To most of you, he's just another high school teacher who I must say has one hell of a ball swing. On the outside, he's pretty soft-spoken, rocking nothing but sweet photos, and although the aforementioned description somewhat encompasses who he is, it truly doesn't scratch the surface. I'm going to try my best to describe the greatness of Mr. Pyson. As a rising sophomore, I was made well aware by my sister of the ambiguous course that was AP Calculus. She had taken it 5 years prior. Leading up to junior year, she also made me aware of Mr. Pyson, who she would rave about on and on about. Leading up to school, I was genuinely looking forward to meeting Mr. Pyson. A week or so into my junior year, and truth be told, I was a little disappointed. Sorry. Not that Mr. Pyson went against the sensible words of my sister, but because he was trying to teach his students a lesson that wasn't necessarily calculus. On the first day of school, Mr. Pyson was trying to teach us lessons that exceeded the bounds of high school, and being the stubborn, immature boy that I was, I wish that I could go back and just appreciate those first few days. Over the course of that year, Mr. Pyson would exceed my expectations. His generosity makes the classroom a warm and inviting place, never strayed away from providing an extra hand. He treated each of his students with the same level of respect, and in return, he got the true versions of them. He was never negligent, and if it meant that he had to stay after school for another 30 minutes, you could count on him. I don't have all night, otherwise I'd be telling you about all the personal things that Mr. Pyson hated me in. Those things stay between us, so I'll be brief. I said it before, I'll say it again. Mr. Pyson, thank you for changing me in virtually all aspects of life. As a student, as a man, you have shown me unconditional compassion. You are one of a kind, and anyone could call themselves lucky if they were to stumble upon Scott Pyson in their lives. Thank you.
Next up, we've got Zachary Rector. Zachary will be attending Baldwin Wallace University with a major in computer science. And Zachary would like to honor Mr. Scott Pyson.
The reason I chose Mr. Pyson as the teacher who impacted my education the most is because every time I walked into his classroom, I felt encouraged to be my best. I felt a sense of safety and comfort, and most of all, I felt like I mattered. In Mr. Pyson's class, there was never a moment where I didn't believe in myself, that I could succeed no matter what the challenge was, nor a moment where he wasn't right there pushing me. His constant caring and inspiring nature helped me excel not only in this class, but in all of my other classes last year, as well as this year. Throughout junior year, not only did Mr. Pyson do a wonderful job of teaching me calculus, he also taught me valuable lessons of integrity, discipline, and responsibility that I still hold with me today. When he wasn't being a constant source of encouragement, he was making our classes extremely fun and enjoyable. He would share stories about his life, tell jokes, or tell us about his cat. Mr. Pyson found a way to make his classes a perfect blend of education and enjoyment. This, combined with the overwhelming support he showed, provided for the best classroom environment I've had the fortune of being a part of. Mr. Pyson's slogan for our class was "I believe in you," something he told us every day and something that was instilled in me the first day I walked into his classroom. To me, this slogan showed his genuine compassion and concern for each and every student that had the privilege of calling him their teacher. This slogan served as a constant reminder of his support, and it fueled my desire to achieve success in and out of school. I can say with certainty that Mr. Pison was one of the sole reasons I enjoyed junior year so much. I would stay in his room during lunch and come to extra review sessions for the AP test after school, things I look back on fondly now. Mr. Pison allowed me to grow and flourish in his class, and he allowed me to create memories in a school year that I'll never forget, which is why I regard him as the teacher who impacted both my life and my education the most.
Next, we have Allison Riley. Allison will be attending Ohio University, majoring in civil engineering. Allison would like to honor Dr. Ryan McLeod.
I chose Dr. Mack as my most influential educator. Dr. Mack has been my engineering teacher for the past 4 years. Having known me this long, I am confident to say that Dr. Mack has seen me through it all. When I think about my freshman year, it seems like a lifetime ago. The person I was then and the person I am now are significantly different, and I attribute a lot of that to Dr. Mack. When I first entered his class freshman year, I was quiet and guarded because I had a fear of rejection and humiliation. I quickly realized that Dr. Mack was one to accept everyone and to make them feel welcome through laughter and jokes. Dr. Mack has a quote board in his room that is meant for stupid sayings and those in the room, including Dr. Mack. The quote board is one of the best things for me because it made me realize that it was okay to say stupid things and that the majority of people do. Dr. Mack has small things in his room, like the quote board, that create this welcoming and fun environment. It was because of this environment that I felt confident enough to open up and be myself. I quickly realized that people liked the real me, and I decided to stop hiding myself from the world. With all my projects, Dr. Mack believed in me and had faith that I would figure it out. Having him believe in me and give me the room to succeed allowed me to see my own potential. When I think about leaving high school, the thing I will miss most are the days spent in the engineering classroom, doing what I love with the people who make me a better person. Dr. Mack and his class changed the course of my life, and for that, I will be forever grateful.
Next up, we have Alex Ruvalo. Alex will be attending the University of Akron, majoring in statistics. Alex would like to honor Dr. Ryan McLeod.
Over my 4 years with Dr. Mack, I have come to know him as a kind, funny, and hopeful individual. Yes, he is my teacher, just like any of my other teachers. But over the years, I've built a relationship with him. Dr. Mack is able to go beyond what is happening directly in the classroom. He talks about life, joins conversations, helps people, and gives advice. Other teachers do these things too, but Dr. Mack does it to a higher degree. Dr. Mack has talked to me individually about my life and future plans on multiple occasions. He gave me advice on my different options, and it seemed like he truly cared about being an educator in studies but also in life. Most importantly, Dr. Mack has seen me develop and change over my 4 years with him as a teacher. In the first year of high school, I was a short, timid, and scared individual. But throughout high school, I learned to become more comfortable with myself. Though I'm still short, I'm a much more confident person. I show much more of my personality, and the atmosphere that was created by Dr. Mack helped with this. He made class a fun and funny experience. From making jokes to ranting about life to giving advice, Dr. Mack made class enjoyable. I greatly appreciate Dr. Mack for being a good person while also being a good teacher. He always treated me more of a normal person than just a student. And for this, when it comes down to it, I consider Dr. Mack a friend. He gives advice, makes jokes, talks about life, and understands me. For all this, I thank you, Dr. Mack. Thank you for being a friend.
Next up, we have Haley Speck. Haley will be attending The Ohio State University, majoring in music education, and Haley would like to honor Jeff Fidali.
What makes the ideal teacher? That was one of the most commonly asked questions when I was interviewing at schools to major in music education. And to that question, I answered, compassion, knowledge of the subject, and caring for each student outside of the classroom. While these qualities may be easy to list, it is not always easy to find a teacher who embodies them. I feel extremely fortunate to have met Mr. Fidali, who has done that since I met him in 9th grade. At the time, I used to want to major in engineering. Until this one day, I came in feeling discouraged because I felt there would always be someone who was smarter, funnier, and more talented than me. He stopped what he was doing and reminded me of his Do You See activity, an activity in which a student goes in front of the class and writes down the positive words that their classmates use to describe them. He mentioned some of the words I wrote down that he felt described me well, and noted that my worth didn't come from me being the best at anything, but from the impact I had on those around me. With how he made me feel that day, I realized that I wanted to help students and be in a similar role model position. I wanted to be a music educator. Mr. Fidali once told me that he's never been in the top 1% of anything, but according to the impact he's had on me and many others, there isn't a statement that's more untrue. Thank you, Mr. Fidali, for always being there for me. If I had to endure a teacher for 4 years, I'm glad it was you.
Next, we have Michael Todd. Michael will be attending The Ohio State University, majoring in computer science, and Michael would like to honor Sue Shed.
A great teacher has the power to make a significant impact on a student's life. And for me, that teacher was Shu Lushed. While many teachers can impart knowledge that may be forgotten over time, a great teacher like Shu Lushed can teach a lesson that stays with you
for a lifetime. One of my favorites being her daily morning exercises to get us ready for class. Throughout the years, Sheila has been a constant source of inspiration and guidance. Her lessons went beyond just teaching Chinese and the culture. They helped me shape my personality and my values. Like a second parent, Sheila spent countless hours in the classroom guiding us through the intricacies of Chinese. But it was her kindness and patience to each student that set her apart. She recognized us as individuals and tailored her teaching styles to meet our unique needs. When she felt she wasn't adequately prepared, she would put in the work just to meet her high standards. One time, she found that her lesson plans were corrupted on her computer and was prepared to fully recreate them from scratch. This showed me and everyone else how much she truly cared about her work. The one thing I admired most about Sheila, though, was her dedication to her students. Although she was no longer teaching at our school, she made time to connect with us old students. She would often message us to check in and see how we were doing, and she would share updates on her own life as well. It was heartwarming to see how much she still cared about us even after she moved on to a different school. Sheila Shi's dedication to her former students is a testament to her character and her passion for teaching. She understands that being a teacher is more than just a job. It's a calling to make a positive impact on the lives of her students. Her commitment to her students has left a lasting impression on me and has inspired me to also strive to make a difference in the lives of those around me. Under her guidance, I learned to work hard and always strive for excellence. Sheila Shi's unwavering belief in her students gave me the confidence to believe in myself. Whether I was struggling with my homework or my mental health, she was always there to offer advice and support. But it wasn't just her academic guidance that made her a great teacher. She taught us the important lesson of trust. A great teacher like Sheila Shi can make a significant impact on a student's life. Her dedication, kindness, and continuing belief in her students encourages effort. I'll always remember the lessons she taught me, and from the bottom of my heart, Sheila Shi.
Next, we have Owen Trepakowski. Owen is undecided at this time. We'll see if he has anything new when he walks up here. But he wants to major in finance. Owen would like to honor Troy Trepakowski.
All right, sorry I'm dressed like this. Just got back from a 10-inning game. We won. Also, not undecided anymore. I just recently decided that I'm attending the University of Notre Dame. So the person I chose for my inspirational staff member is Mr. Trepakowski. As a teacher, he always goes out of his way to provide his students with the best experience possible. He's always working on ways to improve his class and make it fun while still promoting learning. My favorite memory from his class is the Rube Goldberg project. Some may know Mr. Trepakowski as Coach T. He has been a coach for over 20 years, and it feels like he started coaching me the day I was born. He has coached me in both basketball and baseball. He has always been tough on me, but in the end, I know he's helping me and only wants to make me better. There are not enough words to explain how grateful I am for the sacrifices and the time he has put into coaching me. I have not only become a better athlete because of him, but also a better person. Finally, I know him as Dad. As a father, he has contributed so much to my development as a person. He has always stressed the importance of being a good leader and representing our school in a positive way by excelling in academics, athletics, and anything I am involved in. He has always expected me to do the right things and has taught me to do so, which speaks to his character. Whether it is Mr. Trepakowski, Coach T, or Dad, I will always be thankful for everything you've done for me.
Next we have Alexis Verdell. Alexis will be attending Denison University, majoring in environmental science. Alexis would like to honor Miss Mary Draves.
Excuse me, sorry. I was just sick. Okay. I would like to recognize Ms. Draves for the impact that she has had on my life. I have had her as a teacher for AP Environmental Science and for the Totally Outdoor Science Education class. And we've done so many fun things in those classes. We learn in so many different ways, so it's never the same thing every day. One of the things that I enjoyed the most about these classes was being able to get outside and ride bikes, go for hikes, go to the metro parks and study nature. Environmental science is something that I'm really interested in, and Ms. Draves has inspired me to go into environmental science in college moving forward. She is a great teacher, and she is there for me when I am overwhelmed or upset. So, I have a story. Right before winter break of my junior year, I went to her classroom after school to finish making my eco column. I was cutting a pop bottle in half when I lost my grip and I accidentally cut my finger. It started to bleed everywhere, and Miss Draves walked me to the nurse's office where the nurse told me I needed to get stitches. I was really scared, and while I waited for my parents to pick me up and take me to the emergency room, Miss Draves made me hot chocolate and brought me a bunch of snacks, and she was super kind and comforting. It was not a good experience for me, but it was a great example of how she cared for me and how she cares for all of her students. Thank you, Miss Draves.
Next up, we have Luke Vasenovic. Luke will be attending Baldwin Wallace University, majoring in engineering. Luke would like to honor Mr. Scott Bison.
Whenever I walked into Mr. Bison's classroom, he was always enthusiastic to teach us new content and words mastery of previous content. Besides that, Mr. Bison had taken a lot of time to get to know each of his students individually, which made me feel very valued as a student in his class. Whenever I think about AP Calculus AB, I think about the experience and the kindness he showed his students each day, and not rest for us to teach him. He challenged us every day because he knew we could only get better. Never had a teacher that was so dedicated to the students. Rather than only focusing on the academic abilities of his students, he also cared about who they were as a person. He would also tell us every day, "I believe in you," which was something that many students, including myself, felt very close to themselves, and always knew Mr. Bison would support them no matter what their struggles were. Overall, I'm very grateful to have experienced AP Calculus with Mr. Bison. His effect on me will last along with every student he taught. Thank you, Mr. Bison.
Next, we have Andrew Welsh. Andrew will be attending the University of Cincinnati, majoring in aerospace engineering. Andrew would like to honor Ms. Jill Kupchak.
Hi everyone. As he said, my name is Andrew Welsh, and I nominated Mrs. Kupchik for the most impactful staff member of my school career. We've seen a lot of high school teachers today, but they did say we could pick a middle school teacher or an elementary school teacher, and I did. She was my art teacher for 2 years back and forward, and she was one of the sweetest and kindest people I've ever met. She was also my last art teacher because, no offense, art was and still is my least favorite class. I'll probably never take it again unless they make me to college. But as much as I hated art, I love Mrs. Kupchik and her class more than anything. Math and science came easy to me, but she was one of the few teachers that helped me unlock my creative side. I still have my dream catcher and Wally that I made from newspaper hanging up in my room because Mrs. Kupchik helped me build something I could be proud of. In fact, it feels like I can remember every project from her classes 6 or 7 years ago, despite not remembering much from forward. I remember my gingerbread house, complete with a hot chocolate tub and peak marshmallow clouds, my clay elephant, my paper mache mint chocolate chip ice cream cone that won an award at the art show, just to name a few. My personal favorite was a robot that we drew anonymously for a contest between all of Miss Kupchik's classes. I sucked at drawing, but I still finished with second place because I drew my robot slipping and falling out of a banana field rather than drawing him as a portrait like everyone else. Most of all though, despite how quiet and introverted I was, Mrs. Kupchik would always tell me that I was going to break out of my shell in high school. Most of my other teachers, seeing how quiet I was, would just say, he's good on his own, he gets a good grade, stuff like that. But in high school, I really have broken out of my shell. I've gone out, made more friends, and really found my identity in the last 4 years, one that I ever would have imagined. And I want to thank Mrs. Kupchik for starting me down that path because she simply believed in me.
Next, we have Lauren Yee. Lauren will be attending The Ohio State University, majoring in mechanical engineering. Lauren would like to honor Dr. Dawn Rubensall.
I've had the pleasure of knowing Dr. Rubensall since freshman year, when I myself was not so outgoing, but merely a shy 14-year-old with few connections. Unfortunately, the story of how we met is no fairy tale, but it makes me even more grateful for her as I recall it. During my freshman year, my mom was re-diagnosed with ovarian cancer. My mother had called guidance at the time to have a counselor check up on me, and Dr. Rubensall, touched by my mom's words, unhesitantly took on the task. I remember her asking me how I was doing, and if I ever needed anything, that she's always here for me. Little did I know, but within the next 4 years, she would help me in ways I could have never imagined. Fast forward to junior years, when I was on a not so clear path to success, Dr. Rubensall went out of her way to guide me in the right direction. I would spend several days out of the month talking to her in her office, and she would assure me that she is confident in me and simultaneously steer me in the right direction. I know that if I ever need anything or a helping hand, she's always has good advice and she's always has open ears for me. It is important to account that Dr. Rubensall didn't have to be in a classroom every day with me for her to make such a great impact on my life. I want to recognize her tonight and thank her for her time and effort that has most certainly not gone unnoticed.
Hopefully tonight you got a chance to see all the awesome students we have here and the staff members they get to interact with daily. I'm truly inspired by it. I get to come work with your students every day and get to work with the staff every day. It is humbling, Thank you for that opportunity. I really do appreciate it. It is such a great opportunity for me to just revisit the power that happen every day between our students and our staff. So thank you. In closing tonight, a couple of quick thank yous. Thank to Ms. Peggy Husay, who helps set us holding up, so let's give her a round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Keish Budeshwar, for pinch hitting tonight for Mr. Seuss. Finally, you guys can stay here as long as you want, take as many pictures as you want. We have some light refreshments in the auditorium hallway out here for a quick reception. And again, thank you guys for being here tonight. It is a special place to be at Berea-Midpark High School. We are so proud to be Titans. Thank you. Have a great night. Yes, there are programs to be available out here by the refreshments. We didn't pass those out earlier because some of the staff didn't know which students they were picked by. So, have a great night.
how much my dad was in the business.
Oh, you wear, I wear, but he, of course, I get his suit and everything in his car. I feel like you can't change, just go. Right. He said, Mr. Smith. He told us that. Yeah,
When you were up there, you're